Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how to create a calorie deficit to lose body fat and why a calorie deficit is needed and all the ways and different diets that you can do to establish a calorie deficit in your diet. So just real quick before we get into the video, if you haven't watched my video on how to lose stubborn lower belly fat, I will link it up here and make sure you check that video out because I do feel like this video and that video do kind of go hand in hand in relation to how to lose fat and appear more toned and lean and become healthier. I did get a few questions on that video, which is why I wanted to create this one to just kind of give you guys a little bit more insight on how to create a calorie deficit. And I also wanted to clear the air a little bit on all the different diets that are out there and give you guys a little bit of insight on what diet or lifestyle change might be the most appropriate for you. But I gotta give my spiel before I get into my video. So if you're new here, my name's Monique and I post videos every Tuesday and Friday on health, wellness, and just general lifestyle content. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I would love it if you would subscribe and join my community here on YouTube. I also have a healthy living Instagram page where I post healthy living workouts and all sorts of health and wellness tips. If you'd like to follow me there, I will link my handle right here. It's just Monique Bushee _. And then also, if you like the style of health and wellness content that I've been providing, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up because it really helps to let me know that you guys are liking it. Alright, so let's get into the video. Alright, so I did just want to give you guys a little bit of a background if you are new here. I am a certified personal trainer and I have been working out consistently for 4 years now. So I just want to let you know in case you're like, who is this girl and what is she talking about? Who does she think she is trying to give me health and nutrition advice? But I do have a lot of background, so I do kind of know what I'm talking about, just a little bit. So if you don't know what a calorie deficit is, a calorie deficit is what's needed for your body to burn body fat or lose weight. Women especially are looking for that toned, tight, lean look, and in order to do that, you have to be in a calorie deficit and you also have to have muscle mass. But I would say that the first step in that equation is lowering your body fat percentage, which would mean creating a calorie deficit. Or if you're just somebody who would like to lose a little bit of weight and don't necessarily care if it's body fat or muscle mass, which I feel like you should care, it should be body fat. Maybe you don't, and you definitely need a calorie deficit for that as well. So just want to give a little bit of insight on how you can find that and also what it is. So essentially what that means is that you are eating less than what you are burning. In my last video I did mention how you can do that in one of two ways. You can move more, or you can eat less, or you can create a combination of the two. Moving more, in my opinion, isn't the most reliable because workouts can be unpredictable. You don't know what's going to come up. You don't know if you're not going to be able to make your workout that day, or maybe you're going to be too sore, and it is impossible for you to kind of calculate how much calories you are burning during that workout. So in my opinion, I don't really think it's best for you to rely on your workouts alone for creating that calorie deficit. Yeah, you obviously should be working out, and working out is so good for you in so many other ways than just to lose body fat. I feel like I should mention that in here. I am not all about losing body fat. I'm definitely about just being healthy, but I know that a lot of women, and that's who my goal is to help on here, is women want to appear more athletic and lean and tight and toned, and I just want to help you guys and give you the straight truth on how to do that because there are a lot of false information out there. I would definitely recommend creating a calorie deficit mainly from your food and your food intake. So in order to do that, first you need to know how many calories you are currently eating. If you know that, you can easily just cut to the chase and do the second part. But before I jump into that, if you do not know that, what you need to do is start keeping track of your food and logging it into MyFitnessPal or any other app that tracks your food. MyFitnessPal is what I use, and I will pop a little picture of what the app looks like. It's very user-friendly. They do have a free version, so I would definitely look into MyFitnessPal. But if you do not know how many calories you are currently eating, download that app or one like it, and then eat how you normally would for a week and just log your food in there. Just log every single thing that you're eating. So make sure you're including olive oil, sauces, seasonings, everything, drinks, everything. And then take the average of those 7 days and figure out how many calories on average you are eating. Once you have that number, take that number and go from there. So this would be step 2. The next step is to take how many calories you are eating on average and figure out, are you maintaining, are you losing, or are you gaining? So if you're losing, then you're already in a calorie deficit and you probably don't even need to be watching this video. If you are maintaining, you want to subtract. And like I say, I always think a slight deficit is best because you're able to adhere to it and stick to it longer than if you have a giant deficit. Going off of that, you don't want to cut too many calories too quickly because then you don't have as much wiggle room to work with. So let's just say you're maintaining on 2,000 calories. If you immediately take 500 away from that, then you're at 1,500, and over time your body is going to adapt to that number and you're going to have to take more away from it, and then you're going to have to get lower and lower and lower more quickly. You could get pretty low in your calorie amounts pretty quickly, and it's just going to be very hard for you to want to stick to that when you're not really able to eat that much. So I definitely recommend creating a smaller deficit. So if you are maintaining at 2,000 calories, I would recommend taking 200 to 300 calories away. So maybe go in the middle and try 1,750. See how that is. Give it time, give it a month, see how you're progressing. Make sure you're still working out. And then over time, if that number isn't enough for you, you can easily take more away without getting too low in your calorie intake. And then if you're gaining, you obviously want to take more away from that. So maybe try 500 or 400. It's all up to you and what you think. You really need to listen to your body. You know your body best, and it's really just a trial and error. So taking some away, monitoring how your body's responding, maybe taking more away, but you definitely need to try to be patient because fat loss isn't a linear thing. It's definitely a up, down, up, down, up, down. Actually, a funny story, and I can probably pop some pictures in here just so that you guys can see what I mean. I weighed myself every single day during the coronavirus pandemic when I was like sticking to my fat loss plan like 100%. I was so on point with my goals, and I weighed myself every single day, not to be obsessive or anything, but more to prove a point that you can't always rely on the scale and you can't give up on your plan too quickly when you aren't seeing changes in the scale. Because for me, and I know that this is for most people, my fat loss was not a linear thing. It wasn't like 140, 139, 138 every week. It was like 139.2, 139.5, 130, like up, down, up, down. But then when I put it in the big picture, it was going like this. But day to day, it was up, down, up, down. And if I were to only focus on my scale weight day to day, I could have gave up on the first week because it wasn't going down the way our brains think that it should. Weight fluctuates, which is why it's important to also take pictures and use measurements when you're monitoring your progress. And then also, I really kind of wanted to have a little chat about all the different diets that are out there and what one might be best for you if you're looking to lose weight or tone up. So there are a lot of different diets out there. Let's just name a few. I hate calling them diets because I hate dieting. I just don't think that it's realistic or sustainable. Whatever you are doing, it has to be something that you can stick to and be consistent. You guys know I'm always preaching on consistency and the importance of remaining consistent. I really hate the term dieting, so let's just call it lifestyle changes, I guess. But there are many out there. There's keto, there's low carb, there's paleo, there's Whole30, there's portion control, there's the Beachbody little containers, there's Weight Watchers, South Beach Diet, Nutrisystem. There is so much, and I think there's a lot of false information out there that if you eat keto, you're gonna lose more weight than if you have Nutrisystem, or carbs are the enemy. Just so much out there, and honestly, that couldn't be more far from the truth. All of these diets work in the exact same way. They do. And it really irks me that sometimes I feel like certain diets try to act like they're the best, or they're better, or they're going to be more efficient, because no, that's not how it is. They are all doing the exact same thing. So let me give some examples. Keto, you're eliminating carbs, which means you are eating less, which means you are creating a calorie deficit. Those little Beachbody containers, they are keeping track, controlling your portions of what you're allowed to eat, which is reducing your intake, which is creating a calorie deficit. Whole30, you can only eat whole foods. They have a list of the foods that you can eat, which means you can't eat anything outside of that, which is limiting your food intake, limiting your food choices, which is creating a calorie deficit. Intermittent fasting, you can only eat, there's a variety of different windows, but for example, you can only eat from the hours of 12 to 8. If you are somebody who ate outside those windows normally, now you can't do that, so you are limiting your food intake and you are creating a calorie deficit. I mean, I could go on, but every single program that's out there is limiting something in a way to create a calorie deficit. That's why I get so fired up when people, like, I'm not a hater of keto, but for some reason I feel like it's always the people that are doing low carb or keto are the ones that say that carbs are the enemy and they're so bad for you, and that is not true at all. I mean, obviously there are some carbs out there that have a lot of sugar and probably aren't the best, and if you have some sort of medical issue, then maybe carbs might not be the best for you. I mean, everybody's different, but as a normal person with no medical issues, carbs are not bad for you. It's all about everything in moderation, and if fat loss is your goal, creating a calorie deficit. Don't let anybody tell you that one diet is better than the other. It all comes down to what you can stick to. So if you're somebody that really doesn't enjoy carbs and you think that you could stick to doing keto, go for it. I mean, that's all your prerogative, but just know that the diet itself isn't better and it isn't more like well suited or gonna get you to your results faster. It's just the fact that you can stick to it. That's really what it is, because the main goal is creating that calorie deficit, which is what you are going to get if you are sticking to any of these diets. It really all comes down to you, your lifestyle, and your personal preference. Leave a comment down below and tell me if you get fired up about the different diets out there too, because that is something that just like really irks me, and I can easily get into debates with people on this subject. Because there's not one that's better than the other. I wish I could just scream that from the rooftops. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys, and I hope that it gave you a little bit more insight on what a calorie deficit is and how to do that if you're looking to lose fat or lose weight. And I also hope that it helped clear the air on all the crazy different diets that are out there. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and then also don't forget to subscribe. I have lots of more health and wellness videos coming, and I can't wait to share them all with you guys. I'm super excited about what I have planned for the next upcoming months. So thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.